All right, what's good? It's Dejon Paul from the LA Rap Report Card, a daily magazine, and today I'm giving you guys what you want. You guys want an official response from the Ladies Night episode that aired last Thursday or last Friday last week. People have been asking me what I had to say about it, sending me clips, tagging me in clips. I was going to make y'all wait to the podcast, but currently I feel like my podcast is not a safe space for me to even say how I feel. Anytime I try to express how I feel on my podcast, it's like, oh, Dejon, you're wrong. Dejon, you should be a bigger person. You should be a better person. I think better of you than that, and just all that bullshit I don't want to hear. But first things in order, I want to congratulate Aunty on Ladies Night coming back and her returning as a host on that show. I think the ladies looked great together, and I was glad to see them back filming and potting together sincerely. What I appreciated most about the Ladies Night episode was that they stuck together. They stood together as a team. When she was ranting about me and slandering my name and saying all these things, neither Illa or Barbie was like, oh no, Aunty, you doing too much. Oh, Aunty, you wrong. Aunty, be a bigger person. Aunty, be mature. They was encouraging their friend to get whatever she had to get off of her chest. And I feel like they were being not only good friends, but good co-hosts to her. And I think that's why the episode was so successful, because you've seen a team or a group of people that stick together on one accord. I've been saying it for weeks now. I've been saying this since I was on Fair to Say, to be honest. A team that's on one accord is going to bring in the views. A team that's divided is not going to have good views for the most part, especially on a serious matter. It's different if, like, I say YG and you like, no, Tiger's better, and we have a disagreement on that. That's not the type of accord I'm talking about. I'm talking about when it's a serious topic. If your co-host is addressing something that's serious to them and dear to their heart, I feel like you should let your co-host get that off. As a co-host, you shouldn't be trying to prevent them from saying XYZ. Let them say what's on their heart. You don't necessarily have to agree with it, but at least let them express it, especially if they're the main host of the show. I know a lot of people want to see this like big Dejon Paul crash out. You guys want me to expose all the Aunty personal shit and talk about this, that, and the third, but that's not going to happen. So basically, her mom, who's my great aunt, my favorite great aunt, and I'm her favorite great nephew per our recent phone call, told me to stop it. She told me to not let the devil win, to stop it, and I won't reveal too much of the phone call, but she told me to stop it, and she pointed out that Ashley is sensitive. And what I'm getting from what I saw her do, how I saw her going off on me, how I saw her speaking about me on the show, is that I hurt her feelings. I can tell that I really genuinely hurt her feelings. She did not know that I was going to bring up any of those criticisms I had about her. And clearly those criticisms I had about her not being loyal to me, about her not wanting to talk about music, about her not having my back, me bringing that up in front of everybody really hurt her feelings. I could tell I really bothered her spirit by saying those things. Am I apologetic for it? No. Will I be apologizing for what I said? Will I be apologizing for hurting her feelings? No, I feel like it was necessary, and it's what was on my chest is real. So I'm not going to apologize for it, because I meant everything I said to her when I fired her and Corey on the show. I meant that, but I can see that it hurts your feelings. And so if I hurt a woman's feelings, she is still a woman, she's still a female. If I hurt a woman's feelings, if you hurt a female's feelings, it's really no point in trying to argue with her. I've never seen a man win an argument with a hurt woman. Like, the only way is like if you go to the extreme and you get just as disrespectful and nasty and emotional as her. And I feel like her response on Ladies Night was emotional for the both of us. So again, I'm not going to get into that. To me, I'll take the L when it comes to arguing with Aunty. I'll say, I look into the camera, she can argue better than me. Sure, she can win the emotional battle. The dub to me is that I got you out of my space. That's what I'm happy about. That's the win to me. The win is you're no longer on my show. That's what I wanted. When I walked into the podcast studio that day, I wasn't like, oh yeah, I want to hurt Ashley's feelings. I want to make Ashley cry. I want to make Ashley upset. I want to make Ashley kick me out the family. That wasn't my goal. My goal was I don't want to pod with her anymore. I want her off my show so that my show could do better. And once I got her off my show, the views went up tremendously. The comments, the engagement, we getting reacted to on No Jumper. They got us up on the Screeno community, Back On Figg. I have But a Dan Lady podcast had never been up on No Jumper screen, community screen, Back On Figg screen. Only me, like Fighting and Rolling Loud, or my list, who got the best bars, or my things, my posts, they go up. But nothing a Dan Lady podcast had ever went up on the screens. But once I got her off my show, here we was being discussed in that light. So that's the dub for me. The dub is not going to be going back and forth and trying to hurt her feelings. The dub is going to be me being grateful and thanking God that I no longer have to deal with her. I no longer have to power with her. I no longer have to be around her, correspond or communicate with her. That's the blessing. That's what I'm grateful for. That's what I'm thanking God for. Not a back and forth. Again, I'm sorry because I know y'all wanted to see that big crash out and be like, oh, fuck you, bitch. Woo, woo, woo. But I just don't have that for her. That's not how I feel. What I have is thank you for leaving. Thank you for no longer being on my show. Thank you for no longer being around me. Thank you for no longer calling my phone. Thank you for no longer texting me. That's what I have for her. And it's genuine thank yous. Now, there are some things I do want to address really quickly and address briefly, if I may. One, I never managed Aunty. If you look on the back of the artwork, like the EP cover that I designed for her Diva project, it says Executive A&R Dejon Paul. All I did was A&R and ghostwrite for Aunty. I never stepped into any managerial capacities. I never agreed to be her manager. Please show me a text or any email or any correspondence where I'm acting as her management. It's never happened. I have offered from plenty artists. Artists pitch me all the time. Please manage me. Please manage me. I want you to manage me. I don't want to manage any artist right now. I'm focused on Dejon Paul and what I'm doing. If she wasn't my cousin, I would have never worked with her in any capacity music-wise. So I certainly would have managed her. I was just getting her beats, helping her write songs so that she could put out a project. She had been with Pun for years. They filmed Ladies Night and Ace Boys Worldwide in the studio. She'd been with Pun for years. Never put out a project. Never put out a project. Excuse me. She was with me for a couple months and we put out a project. That's because I A&R'd, not because I managed. As far as she's saying, yeah, he wrote for me, but it not because I asked. It's because he's a control freak. He wanted to. No, one, you would invite me to the studio and I could show text where you would text me, hey, I have a studio session this weekend. Can you make it? Sometimes all the way from 10 o'clock to 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning. We've done 12 to 4 a.m. before. I was in there with you free of charge. So don't try to make it seem like I just wanted control over your music and I was thirsty to go to the studio with you. No, you was inviting me on nights I had to do things and cancel and make and move things around. You was inviting me to the studio to work on your music, and I did it because you're my cousin. Another point I want to address. This whole my boyfriend shot up her show. She's like, Dejon only got me one show. One, I did not get you that show. I was hosting an event. It was a Grammy weekend event. This clothing brand threw a Grammy weekend event, excuse me. I was booked to host it. Because I'm looking out for my cousin, I asked him, could my cousin perform? But I did not get you that show as your manager. I did that as a favor. I asked for a favor. Hey, could my cousin get on stage and perform just a couple songs? And you did. You performed 3 songs. I introduced you to the stage. You performed 3 songs. You got off stage. No one was shot. There's no shooting incident. What are you talking about? And you know the only person I talked to. So for you to say that my boyfriend, what boyfriend did I have at that time? My boyfriend you're saying my boyfriend shot up your show, one that wasn't your show too. Nobody shot anything. Not one firearm was fired that evening. And what boyfriend are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about? So to me, that was just a felonious and heinous lie that she pulled up out of nowhere. But I understand the content thing, but that's totally left to give me an imaginary boyfriend, make an imaginary shooting and an imaginary show for you, because again, that wasn't your show. I was hosting. Them people was there to see me. I brought you out as a guest after asking for a favor, because I asked first. I could have just maybe snuck you on stage, but I wasn't going to do that. I asked first. My last point before I move forward is she said something very ignorant, saying that I never managed 211, and she called him and he somewhat confirmed that. But that's not true. If you guys remember, 211 went on Back On Figg. Hold on. Remember, 211 went on Back On Figg about a year ago, and there's a clip 211 on Dejon Paul being his manager back in the day. I started working with a gentleman named VVS Vision. His name is Mr. Barry, but VVS Vision is what he goes by. He has a company called Road to Riches Entertainment. In 2008, he managed 211 Joe Moses. I did all his social media management. I was social media manager for and did PR work as well for that company. And that was in middle school. I did that up until high school, when after 211 got dropped from CTE, Jeezy's label, I stepped into more of a managerial capacity, which is why you hear him saying that I connected him with Nipsey Hussle on this clip. But again, it reads 211 on Dejon Paul being his manager back in the day. So let's check this out.
I fuck with Dejon.
I think he's trying to correct the narrative up there.
I was knowing him when he was in high school though. Like that nigga was like fake my manager in 2012. I ain't never seen this in real life.
I want to stop him there because, and I could, if I wanted to, pull up a clip from my Rap Report Card podcast when 211 pulled up last year on me, and we talked about how he would pick me up from school, and we went to Fairfax, and he did interviews with Trap House Clothing. In the back of their clothing store, I arranged for him to be interviewed by a gentleman named Bobby Souls. And how we went to Flight Club. Timbaland was there. That's the day he met Timbaland. So there were definitely, not saying it was a regular thing, but he definitely met me while I was in high school. But I obviously was running Twitter's, MySpace's, websites. His website I designed and was operating. I was doing anything digital. So again, I don't understand the candor, but let's keep going.
I pull up on Nipsey like, hey,
talk to your manager.
Yeah, talk to your manager. Like, we supposed to have a session like next week. Like, we just do it at 1500. I'm like, nigga, my manager. I'm like, who?
That's
he
crazy.
He like, Dejon. I'm like, man, that. Yeah, for sure, my manager, bro. Like, let's lock in. We switch numbers, and you know what I'm saying?
This is 2012.
This is 2012, bro. 2012. Nigga was like, nigga was trying to get me to sign Casey Veggies. Nigga, 2012.
He was trying to get you to
bro.
sign.
I never knew who Casey Veggie was. He like, bro, this nigga finna be high. He finna be woo. 2012.
What? This is
he like, send him. So I was on, like, I've been knowing Casey since then. Like, man, I want to fuck with you, but I was getting out of my situation. I had a whole bunch of shit. I'm like, bro, I'm gonna fuck your career up, bro. Like, both of y'all niggas, really. You feel me? Even Dejon set up my South by Southwest shit 2013. All my interviews, the nigga was in 10th grade. I swear to God, nigga.
Oh, that's
I lost
crazy,
like 50,000 in the mail, and then I'm like, nah, bro, I ain't gonna go. Like, I had shit set up, but the year before that, he threw me a couple plays. You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy.
And I had fucked up, and I ended up not even going. But the nigga had everything confirmed. Like, bro, this nigga 14, 15 years old, busting my moves.
So again, I always come with receipts and proof because I'm not a liar. I would never lie about managing an artist or working with an artist, a local artist at that. 211 confirmed here a year ago that I did used to manage him. I did used to work with him at a very young age when I was in high school. South by Southwest is a week-long music festival in Austin, Texas. I'll never forget, 2 years in a row. He was my first South by West client. I moved on years later to work with plenty of different artists, including Wu-Tang Clan. I set up some of their shows and performances as well. But anywho, while I was still in high school, and my father wouldn't let me actually go, and I used to get upset, but I set up his South by Southwest runs, got him in shows, all hip-hop stage, This Is 50 stage, these different things. And as well as the interviews and go visit this gift and suite and this brand has merch for you. Go by their installation or their pop-up or their booth. Do some content. I set up all of those things, all of that marketing for him for South by Southwest. When it was time for him to put out his project, Product of the Block 2, I did the rollouts. I used to wake up early in the morning at like 5 in the morning and email bighomie@raprater.com, insulin at complex.com, Deidre at fader.com, and send them the pictures so that at 8, 9, 10 o'clock LA time, you will wake up and see 211 on these East Coast blogs. You got to think that was the blog era. If you wasn't on a blog as an independent or underground artist, you was nobody. So I was doing that, even though that falls more under PR. He didn't have a PR, so I was doing that as well. Social media management, PR, whatever I could do, because I believed and wanted to see him win. And so to see my cousin question that and then to call him and him give like more of a vague response, it was shocking. But I'm glad that they got this video in 4K of him admitting to 11 on Dejon Paul being his manager back in the day. So you guys can see I'm not lying about that. Other than that, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much all I have for it. I feel like I said, there's no way I can win an argument with any woman that's hurt. I don't think you can win a man can win an argument with a woman that's hurt unless he starts acting like a woman himself. That's the only way to win that argument. And I just want to clarify some of the lies and the loopholes. Oh, the last point I wanted to make, when she pulled out whatever book she pulled out from her job and diagnosed me with a mental illness, one, I think that's very unethical. I don't think that's something that the County of Los Angeles will want one of their social workers doing on camera, especially. But also, I'm a black man in America that grew up in the hood that's gay. I'm sure I do have mental problems. I'm sure there are stressors that come with being a black gay man that grew up in the hood in America. It's hard. It's not easy. I'm sure I could benefit from talking to a therapist. What black man in America wouldn't benefit from speaking to a therapist? I don't think that means we need social workers, mandated social workers going on public platforms and diagnosing us with their medical book in front of an audience. And I just thought that was very unprofessional. And I don't think the County of Los Angeles would appreciate seeing one of their mandated social workers sit on camera and diagnose someone that they're at odds with on a podcast. I think that's a bit unethical, but who am I? Anywho, Dan Lay podcast coming out this week. This is my official response to Ladies Night. I'm not talking about it on my show because I don't feel like my show is a safe space for me to talk about how I feel. You guys let me know how you guys feel about the Ladies Night episode in my comments. Peace.